Next question is from Patrice. Marina, can you please talk about karma some more? Really trying to understand it fully.
Okay, karma. I know it's a lot of videos. I have everything there. I don't mind repeating. Ask me questions. And I want to thank for the people that are aware of some of the stuff, being patient. This is how we help each other out. Okay. Repetition and repetition is very important. Okay. For example, here you are in consciousness itself. Okay. Remember, this is your matrix. Your consciousness is vibrating in a certain sequences and is always fluctuating. Okay. Itself. This is also the one unit particle that is collapsing and expanding. Okay. Within consciousness, you hold your own vibration of reality. Okay. Infinite realities are resonating at the same time. Correct? Okay. So now from consciousness, because it's collapsing and expanding, you're always going to perceive vibrational sequences back and forth. In a fractal. Okay, that's going to be back and forth, back and forth. However, you have a choice to express through fluctuation whatever you want to experience in your life. However, it could be very challenging for you, or could be something happening and you decided to do something. Sometimes it's complete confusion. For example, you're confused and you did something silly. Okay. But because in consciousness is back and forth reflection, like a mirror image, whatever you project from your heart and emotion, and then you take in the action, you immediately shift into fractal momentum within the consciousness itself, another version of you. And in this another version, you're reprinting multiple to infinite expansions of reality. That could be your boyfriend, your family, your stuff. They coexisting because you end up reprinting them in another version reality timeline of you. Fractal momentum. Okay. That's actually a parallel reality. This is here parallel reality. Similar on vibration fluctuations create a timeline. Okay. So now when you express this stuff, remember we talk about fluctuation within the structure. Everything is in a now. We're doing now in a 3D, but I'm giving you linear. Everything is 3D, basically 360 degrees. But I'm giving you linear to understand. Now this within the structure, if this is 3D, you could be fluctuating. If this is in a positive action, you are able through your action to hold the vibration to become positive outcome here. You're actually withholding the vibration, but you're also accumulating into your structure. You're accumulating positive vibrational frequencies based on your action. And this continues, this modality on and on and on. So every time you try to do something based on what you reflect back and forth from consciousness itself, you actually accumulating into your field. Each time. It's almost like on and on. That's why I keep telling you, do positive on and on and on, because I want that vibrational sequence for you constantly to accumulate in a fractal momentum throughout your day. Because throughout your day, moment to moment, you're going to collapse all that in a positive outcome. So your outcome, whatever you do, the people that are going to come in, everything that is happening is going to be in a positive structure. And that is very important. That's why you're going to find the right people and not the people that are going to do something negative. However, people that may do something negative sometimes will be there so they can shift you in a positive. Because you're going to say, wait a minute, I don't want to be affiliated with that person because I think something is off here. And you're not going to sign a contract with this person. You're going to go to somebody else. And all of a sudden, in a couple of months, you're going to find out that that person that stopped you is a not nice person. And you would have been in a lot of trouble. So if you withhold the vibration and you start accumulating through your actions and thoughts, you're accumulating these frequencies. And based on what you're accumulating, you're creating so-called karma. So karma is basically frequency accumulation through the shifting from reality to reality, parallel reality, based on what was your previous emotion, thoughts, and action. You shift into a brand new earth, and you accumulated the vibrational sequences from the previous parallel reality. And this is how you build. So karma could also be out of balance structures. Whatever you accumulated in the negative, that means whatever you are acting in the negative. And you find yourself and you continue consenting and doing negative stuff, you're also going to build positive or negative karma based on whatever you were doing. And this is how you're actually building karma. And now, in order for you to move now to the next level of vibration, you got to basically shift your actions and thoughts. And this is how the quantum manifestation protocol comes in. When you learn all this modality, how for you to fluctuate and mutate something that you collected in a negative, to mutate that into a positive by raising the vibration from the heart and literally shifting the timeline in a positive through the fluctuation of your actions and emotions. But that, in order to go in a positive, you got to get rid of all the negative structures. Consciousness said, and the Council of Nine said, you cannot download, hold on, did I spell something wrong? Karma. I spelled karma with C. Sorry, guys. Thank you, Robert. Karma with K. So basically, they said you cannot download DVD 99%, you're downloading DVD 100%. That means that anything that is off balance now that you accumulated through your actions, that could be friends, family, partners, you will be presented right in front of you. When you shift the reality, you will be presented with some kind of a situation that, for example, is negative. And you sit over there and you're saying, oh my God, what am I going to do now? I know that this person is negative and I want to be in the heart. So your action here has to be positive constantly by not consenting on the negative input of that person. And when you start doing this over and over and over again, you're going to start projecting and starting to accumulate the positive frequency that eventually you're going to find yourself that whatever you do is going to be somebody or some situation to give you the results that you're looking for. But first, you got to get ready by not consenting through the heart in the negative, because this is how you are accumulating that frequency. You're actually accumulating the frequency vibration of what that not negative structure is doing. And this is why they say, don't watch the negative TV. Don't consent to the negative input. Once you find out and once you awaken what that is, if you keep staying there and complying because of fear, you actually gave accumulation and you're accumulating negative structure within your timeline from the negative archon structure. And this is why for some people will be very difficult for them to go into the positive, because they accumulated so much negative karma, so much negative frequency modality vibration, that they will have very difficult time to get rid of all the negative structures to do it. And yet the Council of Nine said that even if you were manipulated, even if you were in a negative structure, there will be, because you're part of consciousness itself, there will be situations that you will be given the opportunity to literally, if you do something incredible in the name of humanity, to move to the next level. You're they said, gonna be given within consciousness itself. If you end up finding yourself, they said, in a negative structure, and you were so much in fear, but you know what's happening, but you did something heroic in the name of humanity, that will be overseen from your higher self, from the councils, from the extraterrestrials, and you will be given opportunity to shift something through some kind of a situation within the consciousness itself. Everything is in consciousness itself, that you have to choose, will be a choice, if you want to do something positive from your heart. And that is going to be a very significant moment in your life. You got to learn how to recognize that, to the point that you're going to feel that this is it. This is it. If I do that, I basically don't care what's going to happen to me. I'm doing this in the name of humanity. Well, if you watch my explanations, I've done exactly this. I have to basically not think of anything else but everything in the name of humanity and start manifesting as I go, because it's quantum structure. I know this is complex, but this is how you actually can shift the karma, and how opportunity for each one of us will be given. And it will be as a miracle, because what can happen, new frequency could be given to you, and you can shift the way they say your body, because silica body into a new frequency. And now you're going to start receiving completely different timelines. When bit by bit, you're going to start accumulating positive and positive and positive, and this is going to be shifted. So don't give up if you find yourself in a situation. I don't care what family you were born, what you went through, understand that the shift could be instantaneous in consciousness itself, as long as you stay in the positive, as long as you act from the positive, you will be given the chance to move forward, except the ones that they complicitly compliant, nonstop to the negative. The way you saw in some of the videos, how they know what's happening, and yet they're going to be doing whatever they've been doing because they're going to lose their job. Well, if you look at the people that really went ahead, every single one of them risked everything in the name of humanity to move forward. And this is the people that are going to be the new leaders for the interstellar society, for the new beginning, because that's what is going to take to move forward. You got to shed off all the karma that you accumulated from the previous realities in order to shift the timelines. This is why for some people it doesn't work, because you cannot be with one foot in the negative because of fear and one foot in the positive. It has to be 100%. You gotta give 100%. Give and action 100%. Thank you so much. Next question, please.
Next question is from Ivan. Is the frequency of love the most potent to create a timeline where the outcome is in the positive?
Yes. Yes. But love does not mean, oh, I love everybody and I'm going to completely give everything I have and I'm suffering. Everything has to be measured. You got to maneuver like a chess game. Who is asking? What is happening? Whatever I'm giving, does that person really deserve? Am I going to give funds to a person that is greedy, but they're talking nicely, or it's being criminal, but still they're going to receive all the money? You have to understand that it's going to be in particular consciousness level. So yes, it's going to take the heart, but at the same time, you have to have the balance where you have that strength to make the proper decision so somebody doesn't overtake you. You have to emanate that strength. So yes, it's all about love, and yet give the love to everybody. However, when you see that somebody chose to reject it and chose to have a different path, you've done your job. Allow them to express themselves as another version of you by choosing whatever they want to be into the quantum structure. If you remember, it was a latitude, altitude, location. If you move in your location in a positive structure and they decided to stay in a negative structure, let that be their choice. You have done your job, you shifting, and then when you shift, you're going to project people in a positive structure because of whatever you're vibrating on. And you have to be able to let go of somebody by saying, I've done my best, I've done my job, I've tried to help that person. I have to love you enough to let you choose your future. And that is going to be the tough part here, because we have to love them so much that we have to go from the pain to let them suffer. because you love them so much. I know it's like a paradox, but that's what it is, because no matter what it is, at the same time, you have to not be in distress and anger when you see what they're doing, but we have to love them enough to let them go so you can preserve your vibration to move forward. This is how tough it is, because now it's going to be like a life and death situation, and it's not going to be easy to anyone, because everybody's going to hear from somebody or something that something happened, they couldn't make it, or they found themselves in situations. That's why it's so hard. And it's not the end, it's the beginning of a new. Okay, thank you so much. Next question, please.
Next question is from Candy. How do we reactivate our higher self?
By everything I just talked about it. Everything I talk about it. You have to hold the vibration into the with the strength into the heart. Choose the positive, because your higher versions and expressions of different timelines of realities is vibrating in a different frequencies. If this is, for example, 5 hertz, just giving you an example, this is 9 hertz, for example, things like that. You at the same time in consciousness are coexisting in different versions of parallel realities, literally different versions. But all of your expressions of self are under the umbrella of consciousness itself. So when you start connecting this in the heart, understand that above 3D structure, all the modalities of these realities, they are in a different frequency vibration, that they're resonating in more silica, more in the heart. It's a different consciousness of understanding. But once you start implementing this in a 3D, you're going to start receiving information back and forth from your higher selves of reality. Don't have expectations when. Stay the way we talk about Marina's day. Do whatever you need to do from the heart with the power. Don't allow anybody to overtake you, but say no and don't consent to manipulation. Hold your power, hold your ground. And then you're going to see all of a sudden, by the time you're sitting somewhere in a park and you have an experience, because I had people literally, they had UFO appear in front of them, like a extraterrestrial, holding the vibration. And anything is possible, but you're never gonna know how and when, because you've been watched from consciousness itself, from the councils, from everything else. Don't have expectation. When you start having fun through the process of helping, giving, you're not going to be questioning. If you remember, I had a situation that people start complaining in the beginning. Oh my God, I can't find you. When I started with all my videos, I can't find this video, that video. And I said, what are you talking about? Until I went into my YouTube, I already had 100 videos. I had no idea I had that much, because I love what I do. I love when I help. That feedback of accumulating is by me giving. I'm accumulating back and creating a great karma for myself by constantly giving and sharing, but at the same time holding my power. Because I want you to be greedy for love and creation, because the quantum field is constantly giving you back and forth from the field like a mirror image. Whatever you project, the same thing you get back. But when and how and from where of latitude, altitude, you're not gonna know, because it's infinite of probability how consciousness is going to construct all the locations, whatever is happening within the collective in that particular fractal, whatever is happening in the collective, to combine whatever is necessary for you to move in a positive. So when you start giving condition and what exactly is going to happen, you actually stop in the process. Have fun. Enjoy what you do. Do not question how and when. Because when you end up in a situation, if you see the video again, season 4, examples of manifestation, I had situations that I was tested. What I've learned. Let me see now what Marina is going to do in this situation. And when you end up in a situation, it's going to be so sudden and so shocking sometimes that you're going to react. You're going to react no matter what. But they're going to be watching you how you react. And you know where you're going to react? You're going to react from here, from the heart. It's going to demonstrate where is your heart and what is the vibration in your heart. And they're going to measure it. And then you're going to know what you're made of in the toughest moments and on the toughest situations. Because I've seen people, when people are suffering, the guy was telling me, what is the big deal that I'm charging $40 for a gallon of something? You know, this is the time to make money. And I'm just in shock what I'm hearing. He thought he was a brilliant businessman. Yeah, when humanity is suffering and suffocating, this is the time you're going to be making money. Where are you at? What are you doing? Ask these questions yourself and never put your ego up front. Pull back, observe, analyze who is doing what, because sometimes we're so observed of whatever we've been bombarded. It's okay to say and to do something negative, but catch yourself and transform it. Okay, I'm sorry about that, guys. Oh man, I can't even stop it.
Is that your phone?
Yeah.
Just press the side to get one of the buttons. It'll quiet it.
I think I stopped it. Okay, hopefully it doesn't call again. But that was it, actually, guys. We reached our timing. I want to thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your donations. Thank you so much for your trust. It doesn't matter you donated or not. Don't get offended. But your donations are supporting my family. I want to thank you so much. Again, please sign up in Rumble. You know, I gave you we're going to send the link. We're going to put it with a big letter so everybody sees it underneath my video right now. And I wish you a wonderful weekend. I hope you do Marina's Day. And I hope from my heart to yours, I love you. Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.